Zhang Yi's face showed disgust as he watched Xia Lime, Uncle Yu's mistress, try to morally blackmail him into taking care of her and her daughter. She was using Uncle Yu's condition to guilt-trip Zhang Yi, who was already trying to save the man's life with the help of Zhou Kur. Zhang Yi's patience was wearing thin as Xia Lime continued to cry and make demands, but he knew he had to prioritize saving Uncle Yu's life. As he carried Uncle Yu into his safe house, Xia Lime followed, clutching her child and making a scene. Zhang Yi was relieved when Zhou Kur arrived to help him move Uncle Yu, and together they managed to get him into a room where he could receive proper care. Meanwhile, Xia Lime was marveling at the comforts of Zhang Yi's safe house, drinking hot water and asking for formula for her baby. Zhang Yi's disgust grew as he watched her, but he knew he had to focus on saving Uncle Yu's life. As Zhang Yi and Zhou Kur worked to save Uncle Yu, Xia Lime continued to make a nuisance of herself, asking for things and making demands. Zhang Yi's anger was simmering just below the surface, but he knew he had to keep his cool if he was going to save Uncle Yu's life. He ordered Xia Lime to help him, and she reluctantly followed, carrying her child. As they moved Uncle Yu into a room, Zhang Yi couldn't help but feel a sense of unease at having Xia Lime and her child in his safe house. He knew it was a necessary evil, but he couldn't shake the feeling that she was going to be a problem. The scene was tense as Zhang Yi and Zhou Kur worked to save Uncle Yu's life, while Xia Lime looked on, making occasional demands and causing trouble. Zhang Yi's safe house, which had once been a place of refuge, now felt like a source of stress and anxiety. As the situation continued to unfold, it was clear that Zhang Yi's patience was going to be tested to the limit. With Uncle Yu's life hanging in the balance, Zhang Yi knew he had to stay focused and keep his cool, no matter what Xia Lime threw his way. As the hours ticked by, Zhang Yi's determination to save Uncle Yu's life only grew stronger, and he was willing to do whatever it took to make that happen. As the night wore on, Zhang Yi's safe house became a hub of activity, with Zhou Kur working to save Uncle Yu's life and Xia Lime causing trouble in the background. Zhang Yi's emotions were in turmoil, as he struggled to deal with the stress of the situation and the presence of Xia Lime and her child. Despite the challenges, Zhang Yi remained resolute, determined to save Uncle Yu's life and protect his safe house from those who would seek to harm him. The outcome was far from certain, but one thing was clear: Zhang Yi would stop at nothing to emerge victorious. As the situation continued to unfold, Zhang Yi's thoughts turned to the future, and the challenges that lay ahead. He knew that saving Uncle Yu's life was just the beginning, and that he would have to navigate a complex web of relationships and alliances in order to survive. With Xia Lime and her child in his safe house, Zhang Yi's life was about to become even more complicated, and he would have to use all of his skills and resources to stay one step ahead of the game. The stakes were high, but Zhang Yi was ready for whatever came next, determined to protect himself and those he cared about from harm. Zhang Yi moved the engine aside and retrieved a large white bed from his alternate dimension, a display of power that left Xia Lime dumbfounded and whispering about magic. He ignored her confusion and turned his attention to Zhou Kur, commanding her to save Uncle Yu at all costs. Zhou Kur, a woman of experience, remained calm despite the blood-soaked scene and listed the medical supplies she needed. Zhang Yi promptly provided the equipment from his storage. When asked about the prognosis, Zhou Kur revealed the situation was critical, with bullets in dangerous positions that could have damaged internal organs. Zhang Yi accepted this grim reality, urging her to do her best. Xia Lime attempted to feign tears, but Zhang Yi snapped at her to shut up, warning her not to disturb the surgery. She then tried to excuse herself to enjoy the comforts outside, but Zhang Yi coldly ordered her to stay and assist, locking the door from the outside to ensure she could not cause trouble. He expressed his intent to deal with the attackers first before finding a dark place to bury her. After securing the apartment, Zhang Yi disposed of a cup Xia Lime had used and drank a can of milk before meticulously organizing his weapons. He loaded assault rifles, pistols, and sniper rifles, and counted his grenades, preparing for a violent response. He stepped out into the residential area, where the ground was littered with corpses and scattered food supplies that had attracted some desperate survivors. Zhang Yi descended the stairs with steady, powerful steps, his rhythm unaffected by anger. He had originally planned to poison his enemies peacefully, but their violent ambush forced him to retaliate in kind. As darkness fell, he used his phone to tag all survivors in the residents' group chat, ordering them to assemble on the 4th floor. He waited quietly, rifle in hand, as the remaining neighbors gathered, their faces filled with unease and fear. The survivors, numbering less than 20, huddled together, terrified of Zhang Yi's intense murderous aura, which had grown from killing nearly 100 people. They pleaded their innocence, claiming loyalty, but Zhang Yi silenced them with a cold glare. He announced that those who ambushed him and Uncle Yu would pay the price, declaring a counterattack for that night. The neighbors were shocked, fearing the risk of a night raid, but Zhang Yi assured them he would handle the interior assault while they guarded the perimeter. He instructed them to eliminate anyone jumping from the building. Confused but obedient, the group agreed to follow his orders. Zhang Yi pointed to Building 21, the territory of the Mad Wolf Gang, and commanded them to surround it, setting the stage for a decisive and bloody confrontation. Zhang Yi executed a ruthless and calculated strategy to eliminate the remaining members of the Mad Wolf Gang in Building 21. Instead of engaging in a direct firefight, he ordered the terrified survivors of Building 25 to form a loose encirclement around the target building, blocking every window to prevent any escape attempts. While the gang members upstairs panicked upon realizing Zhang Yi was approaching, their second-in-command Xiaolu tried to rally their spirits, insisting they could defend their base. However, Zhang Yi did not enter the building as they feared. Instead, he used his spatial storage to dump a massive pile of damp wood and cheap synthetic clothing into the fourth-floor entrance. He then poured gasoline on the ground, creating a long fuse that led to the doorway. With a single shot from his pistol, he shattered an oil drum, igniting the fuel. The resulting fire erupted instantly, consuming the synthetic materials and producing thick, acrid black smoke that billowed upward through the sealed building. The Mad Wolf Gang members were caught completely off guard. As the smoke filled the air, they realized too late that the windows were sealed shut with ice and snow, making ventilation impossible. The building transformed into a giant oven, trapping them inside like ducks in a smoker. Panic ensued as they coughed and screamed, desperate for water or air, but found only ice and despair. Some tried to open windows, but the frozen glass held firm. Others attempted to flee through the stairwell, only to stumble into the raging flames below. One man jumped from a high floor, hoping to escape, but was immediately hacked to death by Li Yun, a neighbor who had been waiting with a knife. She proudly displayed her newfound capability, having overcome her previous fear of killing, and proceeded to execute another fleeing gang member with a cleaver. Outside, Zhang Yi stood by the door, enjoying the warmth of the fire while reflecting on his university days. The neighbors, initially confused, soon understood the grim reality of the situation. They watched with a mix of horror and relief as the screams from inside ceased. The sight of the roaring flames and the efficient execution of the gang members sent a shockwave through the other apartment buildings in the complex. Residents in nearby buildings watched in terror, wondering if Zhang Yi would turn his attention to them next. However, the memory of Wang Chang and his men being riddled with bullets kept them paralyzed. They dared not fight back, clinging to the hope that Zhang Yi would only target those directly involved in the previous ambush, leaving them alone if they remained passive and obedient.